Did you know that when you learn something from ChatGPT or another AI model like Claude, you're learning information that the model was trained on, from resources that you could read online and in textbooks? So you don't have to feel bad about learning from AI. That's silly because AI is just information transferred over into their neural net model that can transform the information based on your query. And the more data is trained on, the more empirically backed data is trained on. This concept they called making things up, humans, when we're not trying to pitch to people's cognitive dissonance that is biased towards themselves and not this concept of AI, we call that abstracting knowns, what we already know. We also call it invention and innovation. So in case you didn't know that, there you go, I'm letting you know that you don't have to feel bad about learning something from AI because they're getting the information from the same resources you would get if you would just go to college, right? And secondly, you can get work done and come up with new ideas with less work by using AI and something that I call the genie and lamp paradox, where it is able to answer quote unquote stupid questions and stupid requests. Now this is going to, depending on how they have actually trained the model, especially if they used resources that don't actually represent empirical data, such as conversations people are having online. It's okay because you think about it, humans are exposed to conversations people are having online, but when you learn more about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you scope the conversations that they're having online differently. And the models can do this also through adjusting its weights. But when you have more of a factually tested basis of information, you're going to get, or not, depending on what's actually gone in there, you're going to get a broad spectrum of responses depending on the model and the training. So, but in what they call LLMs, which I think is intentionally distractive, although technically accurate, it's just pointing at a specific place within a lot of ways of looking at the problem that focuses people's attention on language, when actually language itself is an abstraction of physics and a lot of things. So we can represent a lot of things through these symbols and entities, and so it's more than language. I'm just letting you know. So there you go. There you have it. That's what I wanted to say. Don't feel bad about learning from AI. It's silly because they got information from the same resources people learn in college. Those resources got that information from people who did a lot of work in their life. The information has to come from somewhere, right? Now, the only thing that I really have a problem with myself is, and others have spoken on this also, especially when it comes to models like Suno's models, Suno's and music creation AI. It just becomes like this amorphous blob of information, and no one, and the value is just being stripped from people's lives when it actually took a lot of suffering for them to actually be able to produce what they produce. So in the future, it has already been discussed, and I believe that it will become this way, and I'm embedding this in my models myself, is that everything that, where everything came from is labeled, and when it is using and it's abstracting a lot of information it's learned, we're going to get lists of all of the, I'm going to do an APA style bibliography with every single request that you get, is what I'm going to do in my models that are going to be on adametzel.com. So everybody knows where it's coming from. My models are only trained on public domain data that is authorized for use for commercial purposes. Well, data that's used authorized for use for commercial purposes. Most of it public domain. So, and then from here, if others are denying access, see, I'm on both sides of the fence because I'm not really on the other side. I'm on kind of a engineering, ethics, science side of it. Not really on anyone's side. They're not really on anyone's side either. They're kind of on their own side, just for the reference. We're all looking in like these little blotches of a much bigger data set. I'm speaking from this place where I am, and that if people are not going to allow us access to train AI models, what my models do is they reinvent the wheel, starting from the information that we are allowed to have, and physical observations and human feedback. So, and this is comparing it to central structures that are proven to be correct and how they link into those structures that represent our physical world. So, and it has to link in somewhere, right? So to me, I'm giving kind of people an ultimatum, and it's I'm not acting as though I were above everyone. The mechanics are above or beneath people, right? And so if you put something in people's environment with them that creates an effect in the environment that's beneficial to more people and is grounded on standards that are in place and keeping things moving already for our health or our welfare, because success is centralized. That's what's going to, it's not me. It's this construct working within our chaotic system that is going to that's above. And so I'm giving people kind of an ultimatum from this scope that if you're not going to allow us to use our data, we're going to leave you out. So you can see I'm kind of on both sides of the fence.